Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring team.
Oh, partner.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to this very special edition of the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl, joined today by two of the great men, Nick Tedeschi. Teddy, how's the week going? We're a day early today, mate.
Grand final week. I'm very, very excited to say. Very, very special episode. We always love those Sesame Street very special episodes. What learnings will we get today? That's a shout out to our great friend Grant Nisbet, who hates the word learnings more than lessons, more than absolutely anything in the world. So, g'day Nisbet, been a long time.
And we'll throw to someone who may be too young to remember Sesame Street, but certainly talk sports.
Hey, not quite. I did enjoy Sesame Street. Oscar was my favourite character, that's for sure. But yeah, grand final week, you got to be up and about for this one. And I'm so glad that it is the two best teams in the comp. Because I think if there was an upset as cool as it would have been, it also would have been a bit of a robbery. I want to see this Panthers versus Storm game. Two of the best go at it.
And it's been kind of 4 years in the making as well. Like that, the Storm kind of held that Penrith challenge that first year. Penrith got good, and then the second half come back and they almost nailed them on the line, the Panthers. And then since then they've won 3 straight, and Melbourne have been close, but not quite close enough to get to a grand final. We've had a few pretenders, and now we kind of get the. I wrote a piece for the Guardian this week. I said this is Hulk and Andre from WrestleMania 3. This is the real deal. This is as big as it gets. So Clash of the Titans. So couldn't agree more. Like, yeah, great. Would have been fun to see the Sharks, or would have been a nice collect to get the Roosters into the grand final. But there's no doubt that from a pure watching point of view, if you're not getting around a fairy tale team or your team, seeing the two best teams play is absolutely what you want to see.
Let's not waste all of our tomorrow's content today.
True.
As I said, this is an additional episode.
I've got plenty of content for grand final week, so don't worry about that.
What we're going to do today is go back and have a look at earlier in the season. We placed a whole bunch of futures bets. We're going to go back and have a look at those. Spoiler alert, not great. And then we're going to go through the Dally M positions and Player of the Year nomination. Well, sort of the nominations, but kind of our nominations and who we thought should be winning each individual piece of Dally M. So we'll get to that shortly, but first we'll go through the bets. I should say no Paul today, still on suspension. Should be back tomorrow, though. 2-game suspension. Back tomorrow. He will be coming hot off the back fence, no doubt.
He's reverse Nelson.
Yeah, he's done the Tatum, mate. He's done his punishment early so he can play in the grand final. I like it.
I reckon Nelson in 20 or 30 years could look a lot like Marty.
If he has his legs removed. There's a fair difference in height there.
That's true.
Nelson is from Wellington. It's just,
there you go.
Anyway, all right, let's kickstart with some bets. We're going to go straight. I'll go in the order that I took them in from earlier in the season, and I'm going to start with our good friend Blake Ashford, another one who couldn't come today.
I think after we go through these, we'll soon understand why.
Blake went 0 for 4. He had $50 on a futures multi-builder that was paying $41.38. We had 2 teams for a top 8 and 2 teams for a top 4. He got 2 out of 4 correct. Manly in the top 8. Tick. Parramatta top 8. No good. Roosters top 4. Tick. Wars top 4. No good. He had $10 on the grand final exacta. Can anyone remember who his 2 teams for the grand final were?
I think Para were in there, weren't they?
Parramatta and I'm going to say Chooks
Yeah, he loved the Roosters.
or Was.
Roosters was at $91. No good.
I wish.
Top try scorer. Can you remember who we picked for top try scorer?
Dallin Tennis, wasn't it?
No. A man that put Blake Ashford on a highlight reel a few years back.
Jeez, that's half the league.
Mike up.
Yeah, Mike Acevo.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you extrapolate out his tries per game, he would have gone pretty close. Yeah, unfortunately, he played about 10 games this year.
And finally, he had the Warriors top 4, which was boosted from about 360 to 425. So no good there for Blake.
Big on the Eels makes it tough.
It does. Teddy, your 3 bets. You had a winner. I'm going to start with the winner. $50 on the Sharks to make the top 8 at $1.90.
Absolutely free, that bet. No, so it was. That was one of the most stress-free bets you'll have all year.
It was. Well done. I'm going to confess that was our only winning bet, folks. So if you want to pause
Oh, you're kidding.
Feel free to
Warriors, man.
give us 10 minutes and then come back to the Dalian chat.
It's also about like kind of where you've got them going, and people figure out their own bets themselves a little bit. So don't be too harsh.
You had $30 on the Panthers to win the minor premiership. Just missed out there.
A little bit stiff, but anyway, they'll probably win the premiership, which will be annoying. Seems like something I do every year, back the wrong way.
And you had the Chooks to make the grand final.
Close.
No,
Close doesn't pay.
Two ACLs away from being correct, possibly, but hey.
Probably need a little bit of luck with the draw at some point in that one. A Panthers or Storm lost in the first week was probably needed, but by the time we got to the finals, there, a lot of them on the same side.
Searle, you had 3 bets.
Uh-oh.
You had a 1, 2, 3. You had a 5-leg multi.
Sounds about right.
You hit 4 of the legs.
Oh.
Sharks, Storm, Cowboys, Roosters.
Oh,
to make
no.
the top 8.
Can I guess the fifth one? Is it was?
It was a was.
That doesn't surprise me. I tell you what, if we didn't have injuries, that should be a payout, I reckon, a sympathy payout.
If we could just hit a drop goal, honestly.
Yeah.
That was paying $6, so, close.
Or conversion.
And then, no surprises here. You had 25 on the Warriors to make the top 4.
Yeah.
And 25 on the Warriors Queen Street Parade, winning the GF at $18.
Well, that was a pure tattoo bet. Obviously, in the off-season last year, got the tat, so I thought it would bring luck. I'm not sure if I cursed them or what the go was there, but yeah, maybe I might have to get the matching ankle on the other side. I'm sure you'll be up for it too, Karl. You can get the other bicep and we'll go again.
Absolutely. Paul Moate hasn't had the best season when it comes to NRL tipping.
Or NRL grid. Or showing up on time.
Or rugby tipping. He had 1 win and he's leading in that podcast, which is leery.
Paul had. Can you remember who Paul liked for the wooden spoon?
Raiders, Chips and Raiders.
No.
Titans?
Titans, yes.
Yeah, we're close to the most. They were reasonably well fancied this year, so well done to Paul on that one.
$9.50. Then he had Warriors minor premiership, Warriors top 4, and a multi-builder, Manly top 8, Warriors top 4.
See, speaking of curses, like I've said it multiple times, the Warriors never win when Paulie's in attendance, and the fact that he got on the minor premiership and top 4 should have been an early indicator.
And you did say that live when Paul was giving these bets.
Yeah, I do recall something like that at the time. So,
okay, it's something to factor in for punters next year.
And I had 3 bets. 1, 2, 3. I had a 4-leg multi, and like Searle, I missed by 1.
Can I guess which team?
Yeah. It's the same.
Yeah, I think the laptop sticker there gives it away.
There's a real hard overhead kind of vibe going on with some of those season tips I've noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, look, we might have to make a change for next year. I had Warriors, Storm, Sharks to make the top 8, Roosters to make the top 4 at $9.73, so that hurts. I'll assume I get a bonus bet back for that.
Surely.
Bonus cash.
Speak to the traders. That's what, yeah.
I also had another multi, which I only got 2 out of 4. Had Bunnies, Cowboys, Sharks top 8, Warriors top 4.
Bunnies.
I had $30 on the top non-New South Wales team.
Warriors.
Warriors.
That was Leary on reflection.
And I said the big watch-outs are the Storm and the Brisbane Broncos. Turns out, just the Storm.
They only beat you about, 20-odd points on the premiership table?
So, I guess on reflection, we were there or thereabouts-ish. Sometimes.
Yeah, there's a common theme, isn't there? Unfortunately, but
big common.
Like the best thing about it is I know that we'll all run it back next year and have the exact same things in our top 4 bets. Maybe just in one of the 4 multis, though. Perhaps go a bit more specific.
Yeah. So Teddy, congrats to you. I presume these will be reflected in our sheet going forward.
I'd like to think so.
But at $50 at $1.90, you didn't quite make the 100 back. So
that's true.
Yeah, scrub it.
I'm grinding away at you with. I don't know if we're doing Pacific Cheese, but with 1 week thing, I'm grinding away at you.
Yeah, look, we'll save our other bets for tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'm gonna nail the Clive Churchill winner, and then it's gonna all be done.
Yeah, call the podcast. We're done. Don't need to review the draft.
For those golf fans, give the old Siwoo Kim. Just like.
All right, let's get into talking some Dally M's. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the positions, start at fullback and go down, and then at the end of once we finish with lock, we'll do rookie, captain, coach, and then finish with our Dally M Player of the Year. And if we're not all alignment in the Dally M Player of the Year, then I mean, what are we even doing here? Because there's only one answer.
Fun fact, we're not going to be, so spoiler.
Wow, we can't wait. All right. Good timing, actually. The nominations came out last night. They came out after I did my work. But the official nominations for fullback this year, Dylan Edwards, the Hammer, and James Tedesco. Now, Teddy, we'll start with you. Is your fullback of the year in that list?
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty easy for mine. There are obviously some big names who missed out, like Tom Trbojevic. I thought had a pretty good year. The Pap was back. We saw a lot of the Pap, which was always enjoyable. Yeah, we saw some flashes of brilliance from Square Drinkwater, but James Tedesco for mine. Edwards was the best fullback in the first half of the year, just over Teddy, but in the second half, Teddy I thought was dominant. And just some stats here: he led the NRL in tackle breaks, led the NRL in line break assists, had the most run meters, 4th in try assists, 5th in line breaks. James Tedesco. So, yeah, I've got Teddy well on top of it. It was a real resurgence for the Roosters fullback.
Searle, you're nodding away there.
Yeah, I had Teddy too, and I expected it to be closer when I did my comparisons, but I think Teddy, like Teddy just said, blew him away, to be honest. He had played more games, more tries, more try assists, more line breaks, more average run. Average run meters was the only one where Edwards tipped him up, but I think his body of work this year was exceptional. And for someone who's supposedly washed, I thought he had an exceptional year. And just his impact with the Roosters is massive. So, yeah, I had Tedesco.
I thought he took his accent from Origin particularly well. Like we've seen how someone like a Nico Hines has struggled with their confidence. Didn't dent him at all. He's He even played the first Origin, against Con after being dumped, and then just went about his work. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. Exceptional.
Yep. I'm in agreement here. I've got Teddy on top too, and sort of just backing up all the stats that you guys have said. I was looking at sort of fullback specific stats. He led fullbacks in tries, second in try assists, had 30 try assists. He was line breaks, first tackle bust, 41 more tackle busts than the next best fullback. And then he was second to Jacob Carraz for all runs. Had 73 less, but ran 100 more meters total than Carraz, so much more effective.
That's a little bit. Carraz played a fair bit of centre this year as well, so that kind of does skew that a little bit. But yeah, no, great season for him. Like a really all-time season from Teddy. I think till the last kind of month, probably slipped under the radar. Like certainly wasn't on my radar what a good season he was having.
Yeah, I was blown away by the try assist numbers, to be fair.
Yeah.
So a guy's been criticised for not passing over the years as well.
Exactly. And I think we really saw him step up too over the last couple of weeks in that aspect once the halves took a blow. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Wingers. I struggled with this. And
here's a tip. You weren't the only one, so did the NRL.
Yeah, okay. Because I saw this list and I was a little bit... Okay, so anyway, the official nominees, Khan Pereira, Brian To'o, Jacob Carraz, Willie Warnbrook, and Zach Lomax. Teddy, are your two wingers on this list?
No, I picked two wingers on the list. One was, I thought, Brian To'o was, I thought he was just an auto choice based on it. I don't think it was a great year for wingers. I don't think we saw any superb, but he's second in post contact meters, second in tackle breaks. Like Brian To'o does, we've probably taken it for granted what he does, but he is exceptional. Zach Lomax obviously started the season very well. 50 errors this year. At the NRL errors, that's you can't be there. Warbrick, 15 errors, and most tries come down that side. He's not even close to being a top 5 winger. How was Kyle Felt not nominated? Now, I am not a Kyle Felt man. He had an exceptional season. His errors were way down to what they have historically been. Second on tries, and he's about 100 years old. Like, I've got no idea how he didn't make it. I ended up going after nominations. I went Khan Pereira, but I would have gone Brian To'o, Kyle Felt. Nomination agnostic.
Wait, so from the nominations, you're going to take Khan Pereira?
Yeah, just like wingers, their main metric is tries, top try scorer. Yeah. Started here in reserve grade and was dropped at another point as well, so maybe that's a bit of an indictment on Des Hasler. But I had Khan Pereira out of the nomination, so I think if I'm having a bet tonight, that would be what I'll be going with. But if I'm looking overall, Brian To'o and Kyle Felt for mine.
Yeah, so Khan Pereira, 24 tries in 21 games for a team that finished 14th in the ladder. It's pretty good.
He's an exceptional finisher. The problem with Khan Pereira is he does nothing else.
Yes. And so only 64 tackle breaks. He's well down in the runs and running meters, which suggests he doesn't do anything. Just catch and score, right?
Like he just catches, gets on the outside, runs around people. He is the under 7s touch football of the NRL. He does it exceptionally well. Does it better than anyone else. No knock on it, but he doesn't do anything else. And that's because he's built like a stick.
That's what wingers are. That's what they're there for, right? It's to score tries. Yeah. So I would not be surprised at all to see him collect the award.
Well, based on the other nominations, he'd have to be. But the love affair with Zach Lomax would have me concerned about that.
Yeah, see, you said the wingers, all they do is score tries. I reckon now yardage carries is more important than scoring tries. And the thing for me, Khan Pereira, he put on weight. Like, you could tell he was a bigger body this year, and he looked ready to do yardage carries. He just didn't do it, which blew me away.
I've got an interesting take on Lomax, but Searle, I'll let you. Are your nominations on this list?
I had Lomax and To'o. And I don't know if I'm blinded by Lomax in Origin as well because he was great. And I don't know if I'm blinded by the fact that he's probably the greatest ever winger to not want to play winger and hate playing wing and then bang out a year like that. So maybe that's just throwing him in there because he hates the position and he was so good at it. But yeah, I had Lomax and To'o. I think To'o is so, like, we've just come to expect this from him. But apart from like that Blake Ferguson year where he racked up crazy amount of meters, that's To'o every year. And I think people just take the amount of work he does for granted. There was that play even on the weekend in the prelim, that Trindle kick where every other team, every other winger, that could go on to score points, but his game awareness and how smart he is and his positioning is just elite.
What if I said to you, Searle, that Zach Lomax had the exact same season statistically as DWZ?
Well, Dallin's world class, isn't he? So there we go.
What universal answer here?
Yeah, wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I watch, I don't know if it's because I had him always on my bet slips as well, so I'm a bit biased. I feel like I watch more of Lomax than other wingers this year. And like I said, that Origin bias as well, because he was great in Origin, probably tipped me over the line when that shouldn't really count. So,
based on my views on Lomax, I would 100% believe he and DWZ had exactly the same season.
And they're good seasons, right? There's 14 tries in 21 games for Lomax, 411 runs for 3,200 metres, 14 line breaks, 81 tackle busts.
Do you know his goal kicking? What was he up this year, or
I want to say it was like 75% or something.
Yeah, it's the middle of the road. Yeah.
Comparatively, DWZ, 15 tries in 22 games, 330 runs, so like 80 runs less for 2,900 metres, so only 300 metres less. 14 line breaks and 75 tackle busts.
Honourable mention, Dallin, then.
Yeah.
Who were your two then, Karl? Was Dallin one of yours?
I've gone a little bit outside the box, I guess. I've got the two Roosters wingers, Daniel Tupou and Dom Young. 21 and 20 tries each, both in 24, 22 games. Tupou was 19th in run meters and Young was 4th. They were 1st and 3rd in line breaks for wingers, 4th and 9th in tackle busts, and 6th and 12th in offloads.
Yeah, it's Dom Young defensively for me that marks him down a touch just because...
It's not there to make tackles.
Yeah. No, but I think a lot of teams target the edge that he's on for sure.
100% they do. Yeah.
But attacking-wise, he's a weapon for sure.
Yeah, and I got no knock on Tupou, but I just don't know how you can leave Brian To'o out.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I take your point. Like, I'm not really sure how Young wasn't nominated because he was suspended. I'm not sure why had Tupou be staying ahead of Will Warbrick.
Yeah.
For starters, Tupou didn't play rugby union, so
there he is. Even in the special pod.
Warbrick's about to become a triple international. That's huge.
I'm not sure New Zealand AFL or New Zealand rugby count as
True.
I've got mates that play New Zealand AFL. Like I don't think.
I know the great Will Evans is an AFL player in New Zealand, which is I probably know more New Zealand AFL players than I do New South Wales AFL players. The game is popular in both.
All right, let's go to the centres. The official nominations: Herbie Farnworth, Jesse Ramian, Katoni Staggs, Stephen Crichton, Valentine Holmes. Are your two centres on this list, Teddy?
Yes, but I want to make a little comment beforehand that if Ivan Cleary has anxiety heading into a grand final with Chris Butler potentially video refereeing, I get anxiety about who's going to win a Dally M when I see Valentine Holmes nominated on this list. Valentine Holmes was not in the 20 best centres this year. Well, no. The only person who thought so was Shane Fleming when went and signed him to a ridiculous deal at the Dragons. He was shocking this year. So, but aside from all that, this was one of the easier categories. Stephen Crichton, Herbie Farnworth, I thought were very Crichton in particular. Like he's going to win a lot of awards down the line, but changed Canterbury and brought confidence, so all that kind of stuff. And Herbie was just probably started off a bit slow, but I thought was brilliant towards the year. And again, not a marquee year for for centres. I thought players I probably would have picked at the start of the year, like a Joey Mona, was well down on form this year. But yeah, Crichton and Farnworth for me were standouts.
Silly, have you got someone? Have you got?
You got Valentine Holmes.
I've got the same centres, but by Karl's smile, I reckon he's got Valentine Holmes in there. So I was trying not to crack up. But I did just want to say Crichton, elite, and talking to guys like Josh Curran and that, they just said that they've never been around a more contagious personality than that, and that when he talks, everyone listens. When he walks in the room, the place just lights up. So that's testament enough. And then on Herbie, everyone's talking about the Broncos and the injuries they had this year. No one's talking about the fact that he was gone. Him and Flegler, obviously Flegler didn't play bugger all, but I think a lot of their drop can be put down to Herbie as well, and just how good he was. I think he's left a gaping hole in that Broncos roster. But for me, those two were by far and away the best centres, but I'll throw to Karl because I think he's got Valentine Holmes.
I've got Herbie Farnworth. Absolutely. He was incredible. A couple of his stats for centres. He was third in tackle bust, fifth offloads, 11th for line breaks, averaged 147 metres a game. Didn't score too many tries, but good looking, fast. And I'd penciled in Crichton. Like he was, before we'd even discussed this, I'm like, yep, Crichton's
penciled in Crichton. You could have brought out the text.
A premise to this, I said at the top, I've done all of this is on stats. Statistically, Val Holmes had a very good year.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm trusting we have a look at missed tackles.
He's not there to make tackles.
Yes, he is.
No, we're basing this like NFL. So you do offense, and then you got a defensive team that comes on at the change of the set.
It's his mindset.
Yeah.
Hey, if he scores 8 points and lets in 6, we're still up by 2. That's fine.
True.
He was a top goal kicker for the season with 84%, 16 tries in 24 games, second equal line breaks, 7th tackle bust, third in try assists for centres. Very good season.
His goal kicking was elite.
Yeah.
I would take 250 that I could run around him. He's got the turning circle of...
What's the max
bet?
746. Max bet. Excuse me, love. Yeah, we're taking out a loan.
yeah.
Actually, no, we're not. That's not responsible. But I will max bet it, whatever I've got.
You might be right. The point remains the same.
You got to have a little bit of controversy, otherwise no fun.
Oh, I like this.
And I did chuckle to myself last night when I was writing this down. I thought Teddy's going to love this.
Well, I could tell by your
I gave you the exact right preamble. That was not scripted.
Oh, beautiful.
Clip that.
Right. 5/8 official nominations. Jerome Luai, Matt Burton, Tom Dearden is your 5/8 of the year in this list, Teddy.
Yeah, it is. I kind of, the 5/8 position has diminished somewhat over the years. It's kind of the secondary half position now. We're going to try and make a case of Braden Trindle, who I thought was very good over the back end of the year. I had no issues with the nominations. I was surprised how close statistically they all were to each other, Burton, Dean and Luai. But for me, the difference was Dean got an edge in line break assists, 17 compared to 12 and 12 for Luai and Burton, and 77 tackle breaks was enough for me to be on Tom Dearden. So I'm happy enough with Tom Dearden, but probably don't have the strong views I did elsewhere. I thought Burton had a very good year for the Dogs, much improved with better players outside him. Luai just does Luai things. Well, knock on Luai was his best form was not at 5'8", was at halfback. So I kind of ruled him out there. So, but you know, I'm sure you can make a case for probably 4 or 5 others as well. Like I think it's a very even year for 5'8".
Searle?
Yeah, I went with Luai, and this was just purely off feeling because I feel like he had almost a career best year. But like Teddy just said, to be fair, a lot of his best games were in the 7 jersey when Nath was away. So it's an interesting one, that one. But I just went with Jerome. I reckon he's been outstanding this year, and I hope he gets that 4th ring before he goes off to collect some wooden spoons. That's going to be an interesting trophy cabinet at the Luai household. But yeah, I went with Jerome.
I went with Burton.
Oh, nice.
And I kind of put this, like, looking at, as you say, Teddy, they were very close all statistically. And I've kind of put this down to Burton's level of influence on the Dogs and sort of how, particularly the games that they won, like those, he had 3 field goals, 2 of them back to back, like, and he's a goal kicker, 74%. But, his key asset is his boot and getting the Dogs out of trouble.
Yep.
He had 236 kicks for 8,371 metres. His average kick was 35.5 metres, which...
Yeah. In fact, in bombs and stuff like that as well. Like that's...
Bombs and grubbers and all of that, like, huge. For context, Carey's average was 29.9. Nico Hines, 31.25. Luke Brooks, 30. And Jerome Luai, 26.5.
Yeah. No, I think you make a good point on Burton.
Yeah.
Like, Burton is certainly more important to the Bulldogs than Dearden is to the Cowboys and Luai is to the Panthers, I'd say. So it depends how you look at it, but yeah, I think it'll be an open award. I don't think there's anyone there that you'd be upset with winning.
The other, just quickly, the other one, like, these 3 guys are all running 5/8. He, against 5/8s, he had the most, the 11th most runs, but he averaged 11.5 metres per carry. Jack Whiten had the most runs, but he was averaging only 9 metres, and Dylan Brown 10 metres. While it's not a lot over the course of a season, that's...
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Burton is just not that guy who presses and prods lines. Burton's the guy who gets on the outside and will link up with kick out and I'll make that bust down like a bit of space. But he's not like Dean and Luai are way different 5/8s to Burton.
Burton plays more like that centre role, just in a 5'8" body, right? He's good in space. He can play his outsides into space as well.
Yeah, he's a massive body as well compared to Dean and Luai, who are both kind of little jackrabbits.
Yeah. Speaking of jackrabbits, halfback. Official nominations: Ben Hunt, Daly Cherry Evans, and Jerome Hughes.
Well, don't get me started. For starters, this is going to be very easy and we're all going to agree and we can get to this one very quickly. But how the hell was Ben Hunt nominated? I'm not sure Shane Flanagan would put him in the top 3 halfbacks in his club right now. If Ben Hunt was in the top 3 halfbacks this year, I'll give away rugby league for good. Like, seriously. I know the Dragons did very, very well, and he certainly was okay at the start of the year, but their success was not based on Ben Hunt playing well.
No. Tomato Martin had a better year than Ben Hunt.
He did.
Toby Sexton had a better year than Ben Hunt.
Yeah.
My big issue with these nominations is they just end up firing off to big names. And, there's no real thought or consideration being given to particularly the guys who aren't going to win, particularly something like this. Like I'm sure we're all on Jerome Hughes. Jerome Hughes was outstanding. Absolutely love watching him play. But, like, they're just going, throwing a couple more big names. Who was okay? Like, was Ben Hunt really better than Sam Walker? Like, I'm not sure that Sam Walker was in it. Well, I haven't gone through that list, but Sam Walker was way better than Ben Hunt. And along with many, many, many others, including Nathan Cleary, who was there.
Well, have we got this? So, of the halves that played 20 or more games this year, Jerome Hughes was 14th in terms of total errors. He had 13 total errors for the season. Ben Hunt had 53.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Ben Hunt led the category.
Yeah. Ben Hunt certainly regressed from the halfback he was a couple of years ago, not how he's been playing, but yeah, just silliness like that kind of has done nothing but undermine the awards for years, and that kind of he'll get a bait to the gig tonight and tomorrow night, and good luck to him, but he doesn't deserve to be there.
So we haven't actually said it yet, but I presume we're all on Jerome Hughes here.
Yeah.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
Wonderful year for a halfback. Wonderful year for any player.
Yeah, exceptional. And I think as well, the fact he did it without Munster just adds even more to it, right? Because those two have been a great combination for so long, and Munster's been the one that gets the headlines, but the fact that Hughes could do it without him for the majority of the season and still lead them to the minor premiership. And just watching him on the weekend, how does he score tries at a clip that he does? Like, his last month has been exceptional. He's had a couple hat-tricks in there, but he's a stocky build, but he's not a huge body. He just flies into the line, though.
Is there a greater example, though, of what the Storm do to a player
Yeah.
than this guy who managed one game for the Titans, one game for the Cowboys, stuck not even close to being there, has now become an all-time halfback, will win a will go close to winning a Dally M. Like, it's, wonderful story, Jeremy. And not only that, like, they had to carry Pap a lot of the way this year as well. Like, Pap coming back off 2 or 3 serious injuries. And, like, certainly his Wilder kind of, even now, I'd say he's still trying to get back to his, somewhere near his best clip. And Hughes has just put it all on his shoulders and taken it. Like, they haven't got a dominant form. Everyone goes, this was a match of destiny in terms of from the start of the year. No, it wasn't. The Storm were $13 at the start of the year. Storm were like 6 favourites. So everyone kind of got a revisionist history. But because Hughes has played so well this year and kind of got this Storm team, got all cylinders firing, we're going to see a few more, at least from me, Storm players in the team of the year. Then, he's got the best out of those guys. And one guy, when we get to the second row, I reckon we'll all be on, has made him. Absolutely made him.
Big time.
Yeah. Just a couple of stats for Hughes, for those playing along at home. Against halfbacks, who's first in tries. He had 12 in 22 games. First in line breaks with 21. 7 more than the next best half, which could argue not a half in Tyron Wishart. He kind of played everywhere. 11 better than the next genuine half in Ben Hunt. Tackle bust, he was first in halves, 99.
Oh.
He had 31 more tackle busts than Jerome Luai, 36 more than Ben Hunt, and 49 more than DCE. Second in try assists with 31, 3 behind Ben Hunt, but 8 more than Walker, Luke Brooks, and 9 more than DCE. And then, as I said, he only had 13 errors for the season. Incredible season. Cool. Let's go to the hookers. Official nominations are Blake Brayley, Harry Grant, Reece Robson. Is your hooker on that list, Teddy?
Yeah, I haven't much to say about this. Harry Grant, I thought was, he just plays the game at a different level. I think he's run first, whereas the other two are very much pass first, run second. And when Robson and Brayley run, they have a big impact on their team, but they don't run nearly enough for mine. Harry Grant just does everything. He scores, tries. He's been a great leader this year. Like, I know Stephen Crichton would be $1 in betting for captain of the year. Harry Grant has been a really, probably not the one you think of to be captain of that spine, but it's really, you see the respect that players have when he talks. So, Harry Grant for mine. Runaway winner.
Searle?
Yeah, agreed. I think Brayley and Robson are both elite defensively, but I think where Harry Grant gets them is his work around the ruck. On the weekend, everyone talks about the 3 that scored tries from the spine, but he played hand in all of those tries pretty much as well. His ball playing is crazy, and there was that moment there where Connor Watson got left behind in the ruck, and you could see on his face he knew that a try was coming once Harry Grant picked the ball up and had a dart. I think his game awareness out of hooker is exceptional.
Yep, I've got Harry Grant too. First in try assists amongst hookers, second in line breaks with 14 behind my man Wishart, again, who's sort of all over the show. Fourth in tackle busts, like offloads. He's another great season, and I guess another good reason why the Storm continue to fly. Props. Official nominations: Adam Fanua-Blake, James Fisher-Harris, Joseph Tapine, Lindsay Collins, and Moses Leota. Are your 2 nominations on that list, Teddy?
Absolutely not, including the best prop of the season. Didn't get a back, and just because he played prop and back row, shouldn't have excluded him. But Mitch Barnett not being there, I know this will ring well with the New Zealanders out there. But it's just he had a wonderful year. Elevated, got a pick for Origin. Form never dropped off. Did whatever role he was asked to play. Played on edge, scored tries, played prop, got through the work. Had an impact, had the aggression. Had to have him there. Wasn't there? I'll talk about the one who I can't believe wasn't. I can believe wasn't nominated, but should have been nominated. Corey Jensen is criminally underrated from the Broncos. The amount of work he gets through and the impact he has on a bad team, when he was playing big minutes, when I was 180 metres, 45 tackles a game, just ridiculous. And playing very well. Obviously not a quote unquote sexy player. Some people won't be picking him, but so the two I've lobbed with from the nominations were Fanua Blake, who I would have had there anyway. First in forwards in average post contact meters, tries, all the stuff. Like I know there's some of the off field stuff, but had to have him there. And I've gone with Joe Tapine as the second one. Second in forward in props post contact meters, and doesn't probably get the love he deserves playing out of Canberra. But I think had another very good season. But I would have had both Barnett and Corey Jensen ahead of Tapine. That was if they were nominated.
Searle, I reckon we've got the same here.
Yeah, I had the Warriors duo, 100%. And it was touched on just then. Barnett did play a bit of second row, 23 games, played 15 at prop and 8 at second row. But the fact he hasn't been nominated when he's been the best prop all year, he's won the RLPA prop of the year, so his peers clearly hold him as a prop in the highest regard. And I just find it a little bit frustrating. It's more so the fact that he deserves the accolades of being nominated. He deserves the right to be there on Dally M night as recognition for the season he's had. He was massive for New South Wales, just made a Kangaroos squad, stand-in skipper for the Warriors. The one game he was away, surprise, surprise, we lose by 60 points to the Titans, and I purely believe that wouldn't have happened if Barnett was there, because that's the type of leader and the player he is. Yeah, I just don't understand how he wasn't nominated, and when I was told last week that he wasn't making the trip to the Dally M's, I was gobsmacked. Adam Fanua-Blake will get it, and Joseph Tapine will be alongside him. Like Teddy touched on, I think he's underrated. And a Canberra side that punched above weight, you'd have to say, if he wasn't there, I don't think they would have got the wins that they got. Adam Fanua-Blake will get best dressed for the second year straight, and well-deserved too. He's a swaggy man, and he rocks some great kit. But his running mate in Barnett should be there with him. He was the best prop in the competition this year. Yeah,
I agree with Searle. Both those two led all props and runs with 370, 16 per game. Fanua-Blake was 153 metres a game. Barnett, 134 per game. Mitch Barnett also, though, 30 tackles per game at 94% efficiency. Like, he's getting through some work. As you say, the offloads, the line breaks, tackle breaks, like, yeah, up the wires, baby. Second row. Official.
Sorry, nominate. This should be nominate.
You sure?
He's fired up. He's fired up. He's fired up.
Official nominations: Angus Crichton, Ali Katoa, Hudson Young, Jaden Sewer, and Viliami Kikau. Teddy.
No idea how Kikau's there. You can name 10 back rowers who had a better year than he, including Britton Nickora, who was ignored. But for mine, Angus Crichton was by miles the best back rower in the regular season. Probably didn't have the finals he would have hoped for. But Angus Crichton, and particularly from where he come from, he started the year reserve grade again. I thought he was outstanding. And Ali Katoa. Talked about Jerome Hughes earlier. Katoa was just a perfect player to have outside him. Knows the angles to run, chases kicks hard. I can't recall a second rower scoring more tries off grubber kicks than Katoa. He just slips his way through the line and gets there, and great player. So I don't know what the Warriors feeling was when he left, but when he went to the Storm, I thought this guy's going to jump out of his skin at the Storm, and because sometimes the Storm players get real dregs and they can get a bit out of them, and every now and then they get a little diamond in there that's like, oh, he's actually a good player who's going to the Storm cheap. Like, you're going to do well. And, yeah, thriving. So, good tell for him.
I'm happy to pump my own tires here, and it's on record on the podcast. I said that Craig Bellamy will turn this guy into one of the best back rows going around, and he has.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the regard was always so talented. Perhaps a little knock on his work rate and his training ethic, but that's what the Melbourne Storm thrive off. If they can pick up a talented kid who perhaps isn't working as hard as they think he should be, then that's Bellamy's recipe for success. So, yeah, my second rowers, I had Crichton and Ali Katoa, but I think Britain Nikita should have been nominated 100%. Hamoli Olakawatu probably ruled out due to suspensions, and Liam Martin. Those are probably my top 5 second rowers in the comp. But yeah, I went with Crichton and Ali Katoa.
I also had those two, and I'm not going to read them all, but their stats, they're all in the top 10 of everything when it comes to comparisons versus back rows. All right, the last positional one we've got here is the lock. 3 nominations are Isaiah Yeo, Patrick Carrigan, and Ruben Cotter.
There's only one nomination. So Isaiah Yeo.
One nomination.
Just so far, so consistent, but just like the work rate he gets to, all that stuff. But like, he's a central cog to the Penrith machine. Beloved there. I don't know how you make a case for anyone other than you.
Searle?
Yeah, agreed. I love watching him play. He's so talented, and I feel like his ball running's really underestimated. For so long, he was just considered a link man in the middle, but when he carries the ball and he carries it often, he's up there with the best in the game at that too. And just become the most capped Panther.
Ever.
Yeah, he's a special footballer.
Makes 180, 190 metres a game, and you barely notice him running the ball.
Yeah.
He just mate, and through the middle, they're good carries. And he was used in a kind of prop role during Origin.
Yeah.
And, it worked. So, guess so.
I went into this thinking, I'll try and make a case not to take Isaiah Yeo. But when you look at the stat, I kind of thought, the old lock was that kind of Nathan Highmarsh, just tackle your ass off, get through some work. And then the new lock is the ball playing lock, and kind of Yo's the guy in between. He does everything.
Yep.
And second in try assists amongst locks, 5th in runs, 3rd in run meters, averaging 125 a game, 2nd line breaks, 2nd tackle breaks, 3rd in offloads. The one that stood out for me, he made 836 tackles in 24 games, so nearly 35 a game, at 98% tackle efficiency.
Wow.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
when you're in the
crazy.
middle doing that much work and you just don't miss tackles.
He plays 80 minutes as well, right? So that's under fatigue too. The bloke's a machine.
That is huge. I wouldn't have made 836 tackles in 15 years of rugby.
That's a career knock.
150 years of rugby.
I reckon 836 is my missed tackle count. You could flip it on its head.
Yeah. Yeah, 8% tackle efficiency.
There we go.
I didn't realise rugby become a contact sport.
Oh, yeah, turn it up. Mate, the Wallabies are getting better. You might have to get around it.
I don't live in the eastern suburbs of Sydney, so
There we go.
highly unlikely that'll ever happen. We don't even know. We didn't even know they were playing out here.
All right, Rookie of the Year. The 3 nominations: Ethan Strange, Jack Bostock, Kale Aero.
Strange nomination list.
Yeah.
I think we're all probably going to agree Lockie Galvin would get it, but he's ineligible. I certainly think that. But Fletcher Sharp not nominated. Blaze Talangi not nominated. Leho Hopewadi not nominated. I've got them all above the 3 that were there.
Can I throw another name at you?
Yeah.
Sofa Alongo?
Sort of far longer. Didn't see enough for him this year, for mine. I think we got a very few, blazing off the bench a bit, but point example, I agree with you. yeah, Lockie Galvin. I went with Jack Bostock because he's a classy finisher, but I would have Galvin, and if I had to pick someone eligible that wasn't there, I'd probably have Fletcher Sharp. I thought Fletcher Sharp was incredible on a pretty ordinary night, so.
Who have you got, Searle?
I saw the RLPA one. Max Plath was nominated for Rookie of the Year.
Oh, of course, yeah, Max. Well, yeah, I didn't even think about Max Plath, but he's ineligible as well. But yeah, Max Plath.
Yeah, I would have had Galvin, but then that suspension, and then I probably would have gone Plath.
I didn't factor in Plath, but I would have Plath above all the ones I mentioned as well, for sure.
Yeah. So out of the nominations, I've gone with Iro just because I feel like he had the biggest impact week in and week out and was a regular starter for that Sharks side. But yeah, none of those three really captivated me. I would have gone with Plath unless he's been suspended as well. I'm not too sure.
Suspended, so Plath's ineligible.
There you go.
That's a dumb rule. Yeah, I had Galvin and Bostock on my list here, but I want to make a case for Searle for Alonga. And like you say, he didn't play. He only played 14 games, but he scored 8 tries, which was 8th for the Storm. He had 4 try assists. He'd averaged 114 metres a game. As you say, a lot of that off the bench too, Teddy. 14 line breaks, which was 4th for the Storm all season, and 54 tackle busts, which was 6th all season. So pretty incredible year in a team that's flying. He could have, when he did play, he made a mark.
Yep. Oh, no knock on that at all. I think if I was picking who'll be the best player out of guys everyone's talked about here, Fa'alonga will be the one.
Yeah.
You don't get 5-year contracts at the Storm by being a dud.
Yeah, that's very true. Captain of the year. Official nominations: Harry Grant, Isaiah Yeo, Stephen Crichton. I feel like there's only one.
Yep. If there was betting on the Dalians that was allowed, this market would be the shortest price, I think, of nearly anyone. Crichton, $1 max bet. Change Canterbury. Change how the players play, how the players train, how the players, work ethic. Went from allowing like 34 points a game at the back end of the year last year to becoming the second best defensive team in the comp in 12 months. Like, remarkable. Quite easy.
Searle?
Yeah, agreed. And when you throw in that he's 22, 23 years old, and a lot of people rolled their eyes when he was named captain first year at the club. But yeah, name a more impactful person in the competition this year in terms of turnaround to a team. It's second to none.
Agree. Stephen Crichton. Coach of the year: Cameron Ciraldo, Craig Bellamy, Ivan Cleary.
Just repeat what I said for Stephen Crichton and put it in Cameron Ciraldo. For mine, he played a big part in Wipeout. I was probably low on him after last year, but I didn't give enough time. Like, he's measured. He's got some blind spots. Drew Hutchison, Blake Taff, bloody Jamin Salmon, cost us the final. I just moved away from it. He moved with a couple of them, but got stuck on the Jamin Salmon one. But I think he's done a great job there. And is he the best coach? Of course not. Craig Bellamy should win this award every year for his commitment to the best coach. And Ivan Cleary's got a pretty fair case over the last few years. But yeah, my knock on this thing was how was Shane Flanagan not nominated? Everyone had Dragons coming last. Got a great year out of them. Don't like Shane Flanagan, don't like his style, but did a good enough job to have them in the finals with a week, 2 weeks to go. So I thought it was laughable. But I think this award, I think the Coach of the Year award is laughable because it never goes to the best coach. It always goes to the coach of the most improved team.
Last year it went to the best coach.
Well, I did. Well, I don't know if it went to the best coach, but it went to the coach who had the most impact. And I think that's Ciraldo this year.
Yeah.
But honestly, this would be the Craig Bellamy, Ivan Cleary, Wayne Bennett award for the last 3 decades if it was legit.
Who have you got, Searle?
No, you're right. It is. It's a most improved coach of the year or biggest impact coach of the year, isn't it? Because when you look at the body of work Ivan and Craig have done over these last few years, you could just give it to them every single year. But I had Ciraldo too, double the regular season wins, disappointing finish in finals compared to expectations, I guess. But when you factor in the fact, if you told me they finished 6th compared to 15th last year with the roster he had, he's done a good job in getting a couple players next year as well. Tupanua is going to be a great get for them. But yeah, I had Ciraldo as well.
if I'd been told that they'd finish sixth this year, I'd be asking who your dealer was, because that would be nuts. Like, there was no way they were going to improve like that. So, and the defensive work as well, like to improve the second defense. Like, I would not have had $1 million of your money, Karl, which I know you've got stashed away over there to have on that.
I don't know about that. I think Cameron Searle will win this for all the reasons you guys have said. But I think my selection here is Craig Bellamy. And not discounting 2010, because I'm over that now, like whatever. Like, this would be his 21st or 22nd year making the finals straight. They would have finished fourth that year had they not got caught. Spine changes all year. Continues to blood the newbies and discover superstars. He's only won this award 6 other times. I mean, that's a lot, but it should be more.
It probably should be 22. So
yeah. That's fair too. When you look at that team on paper, in particular that 4-pack, there's some players there that you would assume, that they'd be a middle-of-the-road team. No offense to them, but what Craig gets out of them and the Storm system gets out of them has them looking like day-to-day superstars. So, yeah, that system, that Storm system and his work is crazy.
Every year we say, this is the year the Storm will come back to the pack. And
yeah,
I've actually been reading it for probably a year and a half now. Cam Smith's book.
Is it that good?
I've got through a majority of it, and then I sort of stopped. I can't remember why I stopped.
But you don't want to write a sportsman's autobiography. You're a better human than me.
That's all I read. He was saying, I think it was 2014 or 2016, like the leanest year the Storm ever had. They finished 6th in his time there, which is
it's
ridiculous.
Wild. When you factor in, like, the starting props at the start of the year, Josh King, Tui Kamikamica, if you told me that they're going to be in a grand final up against Leota and Fisher Harris, I would have laughed, because, like, that's a clear mismatch, right? But then when you watch Josh King play now, he's up there as one of the best on the paddock. So that's full Bellamy effect.
Yeah. All right. To bring us home, fellas, the Dally M Player of the Year. Teddy, you said it might be controversial.
Well, I was going to be on Jerome Hughes. And I think Jerome Hughes has probably been the best player this year. But kind of going through the games and where they were positioned when they went behind closed doors, I've got Teddy winning. Teddy was up 23-16, and I don't know that Hughes is... I wouldn't say Hughes hasn't done enough, but Hughes hasn't stopped. I don't know that Teddy stopped enough to not... to allow Hughes to bridge the gap. So I think this will be a runaway 2-horse race. I think this is only Teddy, only Hughes, and I'm talking about 10, 15 points back to whoever else. But the 6 points makes it interesting. Like, you can pull it back. That's only a 7-point lead. But Hughes lost just once and missed a game. Bruce has lost only twice post round 12. Teddy missed only one through Origin. I think they score points in the majority of games over the back end of the year. I just think I'm backing the Teddy lead to hold, is what I'm saying. So, you asked me who the best player was this year, Jerome Hughes. But I've got Teddy winning the Dally M. I thought the same last year. I thought Sean Johnson was the best player last year, and we kind of worked it the other way as well. So, anyway, I've got Teddy winning.
I didn't even take the points into consideration when I made my selection. I just wrote Jerome Hughes' name down. Searle?
Yeah. I think if Teddy wins, I feel sorry for him in the fact that the backlash he's going to cop is going to be everyone saying Hughes robbed, and it'll override the fact that Tedesco did have an amazing season, and any other year he would be a deserved winner. I think Jerome Hughes has been the best player in the competition. I think it does go to show, though, the flaws in this system, right? Because there's games where Harry Grant, Pappenhausen, Munster are going to take points away from Hughes, and that could be the difference, whereas a Teddy probably racked up maximum points in the majority of their games.
That's exactly what I thought when I was going through the stats for each game. I was just like, well, you are getting a 6-6-6 here, whereas Hughes can easily get 4 in a game. You know, there were 100% games where Harry Grant would have pinged the 6. So, it's a stupid system. And I wrote a piece, I think, back in 2013 about how flawed the Dally M is, and here we are 11 years later. It's exactly the same. So, and the judges, ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, if one of those two get it, I won't be upset.
Yeah, I reckon Kiwi fans are going to be there with pitchforks if Hughes doesn't win it, because off the back of the SJ and now this, that would feel personal. But I hope Hughes gets it. If Teddy gets it, I can understand it. But at the same time, I feel sorry for him because he's going to cop triple the shit that Ponga copped, literally, because everyone thinks Hughes should win it by a landslide. It's not his fault. He had a great year. So.
Yep. Be nice, people. All right. That'll do us. I said let's keep this to half an hour. We've just ticked over an hour.
I did max bet the over.
Yeah, it was always going to go overs.
Mm.
It's hard being a host, you know. You can't. No, hey, gentlemen, thank you very much. That was fun. Hopefully, I think we're pretty close to being bang on with what's going to be announced tomorrow night on the 2nd of October. But we'll be back again tomorrow on the 2nd of October to record our grand final preview podcast, having a bit of fun, having some punts. So, Teddy, I'll see you both tomorrow. Was that the little stray panther here?
Yeah, that was a little stray panther. That's an indicator. Fisher Harris coming to the Wars, 4-time champ. How good.
Teddy, thank you very much, mate. We'll talk tomorrow.
Great stuff. See you tomorrow.
You too, Searle. See you, mate.
Legends. Go well.
Cheers, punters. Bye.